and better than factory. And speaking about better than factory, I had a lot of emails from people and a lot of comments about other channels using our phrase, better than factory, without making any reference to us. I mean, what do you want me to do? Follow them with a baseball bat? It doesn't work that way. Here. We're gonna continue working on this iMac motherboard that we worked on yesterday and could not get it to work. In case you have not watched that video, let me quickly go over what we did. iMac came in here. It's a 21-inch iMac. It came here because there's no image that is showing on the screen, no backlight and no display. So we inspected the motherboard and came across a bad capacitor that we replaced, and we also replaced a blown fuse. If you look here, we replaced this capacitor, and we also replaced this blown fuse. Right now what I'm going to do is replace this component. We had a burn mark right here which I cleaned off. The component is testing good, but some of you suggested in the comments to replace the component even if it's testing good. Maybe it's failing under load, and that's what I'm going to do right now. And I will also replace the LVDS connector, even though I do not see anything wrong with it. But those are the two things that can cause a no image onto the screen. We are getting a backlight now, so we know that we do not have any issues with backlight, but we are not getting any display on the screen. So let's go ahead and replace this LVDS connector, and we're gonna replace this inductor here and see what happens. Hopefully we are able to fix it for the customer. If you have not seen part 1, look for it. It was uploaded yesterday. Let's get rid of this inductor or coil or filter, whatever it is. And we're gonna grab our donor board to get the component from. I do not know the value of the component. And some of you may ask, why not get a new component? Number one, I do not know the value of the component. And number two, it's a lot easier to grab it off a donor board. And number three, we do not have to wait a week or two to order and get that component. Customers cannot wait. And number four, we are getting an original part. That is the reason why we get components off a donor board. It's convenience and time. How do you think we do repairs all same day? We have a lot of donor boards. If every repair I want to wait 1-2 weeks to order a specific component, we're gonna close the shop. Go sleep. Why run a business? So right now I'm gonna press down on that component. Nice and flat. There's a direct connection between the inductor and the source of the MOSFET. We can still see that burn mark on the board. As per part 1 of the video, we had a nasty burn mark here, but the component did test good, so we kept it. We did not change it. But there's a point where one of the viewers said the component may be testing good, but maybe it's failing under load. A very valid point, and I thought about it, but I never changed it. Very nice. And we're gonna test the fuse one more time. I did not test it after we tried to power the iMac on, but I do not have reason to believe the fuse has blown again because we are getting a backlight and the fuse is good. And somebody suggested also to check if we have a short on the capacitor that we replaced. Go to diode mode. And we do not. We are reading 0.36 voltage drop. And we have ground here. So we're good. We can try the board now and see if it works before replacing the LVDS connector, and maybe that's the smart way of doing it, so we do not have to spend any time replacing that connector. But I don't know. I do not want to go back and forth, and I don't know what to do. Let's check the inside of the connector and see if there's anything obvious. So the pins, they look good to me. I do not see any issues with the pins. I see every single one of the pins. And honestly, I do not have a reason to believe that we have a problem with the connector, unless the LVDS cable is not making a good connection with one of the pins inside. Right now, I do not have a reason to believe that we have a bad LVDS connector. I'm going to give the board to Big Boss to reassemble and test. If the board is still not working, not displaying an image, then we're going to replace the LVDS connector and then call it quits if it still does not work. So I'll be back. And one last thing, I also replaced the MOSFET. I did it off camera. I was not recording when I replaced the MOSFET. So the MOSFET is already replaced, and you can tell by the solder joints. And the MOSFET was removed from the donor board right there. Okay, so we removed this component, the fuse, and the MOSFET. So right now, this circuit should be perfect, and we'll see. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Same problem. Let's go ahead and replace the LVDS connector. That will be the final attempt to fix this board. Apply 559 flux. Yesterday I mentioned the ultra fine probes that we recently got. Very, very fine probes, and people tried to order but could not find them on the site. You can check now. They should be there. We're going to use some low melt solder. We're going to apply low melt solder on the front here, on the sides. But we also have some pins hidden under the connector that low melt solder cannot reach. But it's safer to use low melt solder so we do not end up ripping any pads. And it makes the desoldering process a lot easier. And look at this, the connector is already moving, look. The power of low melt solder. I love it. Look at that connector. It's gonna take a little bit of heat to desolder it. And we need to apply heat because, like I said, we have some hidden pins with unleaded solder under the connector. And we're gonna have to heat up the connector to remove it. But low melt solder will make the job a lot easier because all those pins that you see in the front and on the sides are already very weak after applying low melt solder. Look at how low melt it liquefies at a very low temperature. Look at this, it's already liquid. Did we apply low melt solder here? Take some from here and put it there. And out. And those are the pins I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had unleaded solder and there was no way for us to reach them and apply low melt solder. If I was able to, then we would not even need heat to remove that connector. Let's grab a new connector, and we have a lot of those connectors in stock, but we do not have them posted on our site. I'll see if I can post them by later this week. We have a lot of new products that we need to post that people cannot purchase if we do not post them on the site. But so many things to do and so little time to do it. Let's apply some flux onto the side and a little bit in the front and just a tiny bit over here, and the connector is solid from one side, from one pin. And the sides are good. Let's solder the front. Very nice. And do not worry about that bridge, we're gonna get rid of it, but let me just soak those pins with solder. Just a little bit of flux here. Let's teach that blob a lesson. And we should be all good. Now all we have to do is use our ultra fine, super precise needle probe to test those microscopic pins and see if we have a solid on all the pins. Let me zoom in a bit, a lot. Solid, 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 solid. I'm not gonna keep saying solid for every pin. And every single pin is making a very solid connection. Solid, 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 and last one, solid. Beautiful. We did an amazing job. All the pins are soldered on nicely. The connector is soldered on from the sides. Look at this. Look at the joints on the sides. This side as well. All right, and better than factory. And speaking about better than factory, I had a lot of emails from people and a lot of comments about other channels using our phrase, better than factory, without making any reference to us. I mean, what do you want me to do? Follow them with a baseball bat? It doesn't work that way. Here.
Happens to fix the issue. Okay, and good as new, or as some might say, better than factory. Okay, power...
One of those rare occasions where I can actually say better than factory.
Better than factory.
Solder joints. These look better than what came out of the factory. Alright.
If you know more channels using the better than factory phrase, just leave it down in the comments below. Leave a link. I'm gonna give this board to Big Boss to reassemble and test, and I'll be back to finish the video. Hopefully it works. Okay, so Big Boss just reassembled the iMac and he said it's still not working. He's outside taking care of a ticket, but let me quickly turn it on so we can finish the video. Right now, I strongly believe the problem is the screen, because we did everything that we could. We changed every component that could be faulty, and no change. Why isn't it turning on? I don't have the cable plugged in. Great job. Same problem. Same problem. We do not have a similar screen in stock. I looked. So right now I'm not able to test it without another screen. I strongly believe the problem may be screen related. If not, then I do not know what's causing it. In the future, if I did get my hands on another screen and it turned out to be a fix, I'll update you. But for now, the device is deemed a no fix. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions. And we'll do something else in the next video.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Hey man, how are you?
Good, good.
All right.